Hey ladies, hope everybody is well. So today I'm going to do a quick live on, share this video. Okay, I might do that. I'll do it soon though. Okay, so I'm sharing this video in my other group, which is fab. Okay, because it is around, family, and family is important for a lot of people. We can't really get rid of them, right? So how do we manage people and family members when there's a dispute in the family and nothing to do with you usually, but you are witnessing this dispute? It could be that you live with extended family, and obviously when there's extended family they get visitors and they end up having some sort of argument perhaps, or something that is creating some sort of dispute. And so what can you do? How can you manage your emotions? Because obviously what we want to do is continue to live our life the best way we can, right? Whilst, acknowledging that these things happen, okay? We're not living in a world where it's all positive and it's all happy. We're living in a world where there's good and there's bad. How can you manage the negative or not so easy things, right? Rather than letting it affect you, allowing it to get to you in terms of stress or sadness or anything, irritation. How can you avoid that and still feel somewhat empowered even in that type of situation? Okay, now I'm not talking about violence here. I'm talking about little arguments that somewhat are toxic. How can you still be neutral or somewhat content in yourself and not let it get to you? So now the inspiration from this was my clients, as always, myself as well. I actually did this very recently and I'm sharing what I did, okay? Because obviously I'm living in the same world as you. I have the same type of people in my family, in my life, who some are very much aware of their emotions, some are not, okay? And as someone who is a believer, we don't cut ties on blood relations. We do, what I do is we do reduce time that I spend with people that are not somewhat empowering me, but I won't cut them off. So there is some contact, not a lot, but there is some contact. So what do I do, or what did I do, and what do I share with my clients when there's a dispute? So this is it. Now if there's somebody that comes and visits your house, okay, now that didn't happen for me this time round. It was a phone call, and I'll tell you what I did. But if there is people that come to your house and there's going to be an argument or some sort of disagreement that's going to turn into an argument, and it happens a lot, what you can do is before that happens, and this is something you'll have to do, everything comes from here, is make sure you've given yourself time in the morning. You've done your morning routine, right? Now I'm not somebody who'll say, oh, you should get up at 7 o'clock or 5 o'clock to do your morning routine. You get up whatever time you feel like you've had a good night's sleep, and give yourself 15 minutes where you are, doing some meditation, you're focusing on what you want, visualization, prayers, gratitude, something like that. Just fill up your cup, okay? As little as 15 minutes. You don't need to do a lot. Even 10 minutes, is okay as well. Is good enough for you to do that. But give yourself that time, because that is something you should be doing every day for you. For you, this is self-care, self-love. This is what it is. Part of it anyway, a huge part of it is your morning routine. How are you starting your day? Because if you start your day with them intentions that today's the best day of my life, your mind will be looking at everything as if it's the best day, best thing that's happening, and you'll easily be able to manage your emotions when there's a problem, because problems will and do happen in life, okay? So if there's a visitor that comes in and there's going to be somewhat dispute, and you don't need to be there, right? You've served, maybe you want to serve tea, coffee, whatever it is. You can literally leave the place, take your kids with you, go out on a walk, go upstairs, do something else. Like I remember when this happened, I'll tell you what I did. I put on nasheeds really loud. Not super loud, but loud enough so I don't need to hear all this, because they're doing their thing. But saying that, I do have some influence. I will give some influence. I will give some advice that you shouldn't do this. You should speak like this. But then I would disconnect straight after that. Okay? Because it's good to speak as well. Because maybe that advice that you're going to give, as in, like have some water, sit down, so you calm the emotions, negative emotions. is it may help them stop that dispute. So definitely give advice, but at the same time, disconnect yourself as well. It's up to them to follow that advice. You're not in charge of them. We're not, you know. And leave it to God. Surrender to God. That's it. You should speak though. Yeah, but what we generally do is we speak and we get so involved. We're like, why isn't he listening to me? Why isn't she listening to me? And that we end up getting inside that problem, and it wasn't even ours in the first place. And then we end up feeling low for the rest of the day, maybe a couple of days, maybe longer than that, depending on how you generally regulate your emotions. So give advice, because obviously that will help them, maybe influence them, because you can influence people. Just by you being in that joyful state, you will influence the people around you. Yeah, I mean, that is something, you know, there's a lot of studies done as well on your vibration. Your heart vibration is about 12 foot from you. And whoever's in that vicinity feels your energy, and it can influence them. Right, it can make them, if they are 100% angry, it could make them be like somewhat 90% angry, right? Just to give you an idea of what that could do. So make sure you're feeling joyful, content and peaceful as much as you can. So give advice and then let them deal with it. Let them get on with it. You just get away from that situation so you don't have to deal with that and let them argue if they want to argue and get into a conclusion in their way, right? Now, you know, use whatever resources you have to disconnect from that environment. Like get out of the house, go for a walk, take your kids out to the park, and go upstairs and put something loud on so you don't hear them, or put your earphones on. So you're managing your environment, right? So that's all you can do, and that's what you should do, and get that mind in, because this is self-respect, when you're respecting your environment, right? If you're same faith as me, you should do that. Anyone who's angry, you should get out of their way, because they're angry. Again, their 12-foot area is anger, right? And that's going to affect you as well to some level. So move away from that place is a good thing to do, so you're not involved, right? So what did I do when there was a conflict a few days ago? So it was a phone call my husband got from his family member. Without going in detail, because it's not important what's happened, is that I always say to my husband, you know, make sure you don't speak to anybody when you're angry, when you're triggered. Don't speak to them, right? It's better to put the phone down and be rude than to engage in a conversation where you're feeling super angry and triggered. So I do say that a lot to him. And during this conversation, he was raising his voice at the person as well as that person. And I said, just reminded him, you know, make sure you don't speak to him. I don't know what they were saying, because I was downstairs and he was upstairs. Make sure you don't, you know, feel angry and speak to him, because it was an elder person than him. And so I'm guessing he did listen to that, because he said I didn't say anything. He was saying all this to me, but I didn't say anything back in that way, but I was raising my voice. So what I did was, okay, I gave him the advice, and then I was in the kitchen downstairs, the girls were downstairs. I didn't tell the girls who he was talking to, because I don't want them to feel or get an image of that person that is somewhat negative. The eldest one did find out later on, but I just made it like, oh yeah, they're just having a little fight. It's okay, that they deal with it in their way. They're at effect. I say in a baby language for them to understand, a simple language, but they're at the effect place. You know, they're not listening to advice where you step away. So they will learn. That's their journey. And they will get better, so we don't have to think about it too much. I put the Nusheeds on loud downstairs, which is, you know, Nusheeds, you can Google it. It's just like more of a faith-related tunes. I don't want to say music, because there's not really music in there, but there is some musical element, sound to it. So put them on loud, continued cooking, and I was fine. I was not triggered by the situation. It was still happening in my house. It went on for probably a good 1 hour. And like in between the day, I kept on talking as well. So kind of on and off an hour. So if I could do that, you guys can as well, right? So just take the tips as much as you can. And don't get involved in somebody else's growth, right? You give the advice, you've done your bit, then let go of them. Because at the end of the day, they're not our creation, they're Allah's creation, they're God's creation, right? And God will teach them in the best way for them. Right? So that's my belief. That's really helped me let go of people's drama, right? Because They're not my people. I can just help them in terms of advice. Really, that's all I can do in terms of advice. I can just advise them what's best and remind them what's best for them at that time. Then it's their choice to follow that. Because I know also that people will grow, whether they grow through advice or they grow through an experience. They will grow, yeah? So they did resolve it at the end. You know, it did take pretty much a good on and off 4 or 5 hours probably, because they talked and then didn't talk, then talked, and then, you know, it was like a phone calls. And then they did resolve it, and they were like, you know, the person was apologising to my husband after that, which never really happens on the same day. They usually don't talk to each other for some time. But yeah, and my husband didn't, from what he said, he didn't retaliate. He was loud in terms of his voice, but he didn't retaliate because I left him, I left him to God. It was to God, I've done my bit. It's your job now to change their hearts, because, you know, I've done my bit. I'm supposed to speak. Yeah, you're meant to speak when there's something wrong that's happening, but you let it go. You don't fight it. This is what I used to do years ago. I would say, you should be doing that and you should be doing this, and like really get involved to the point where I wanted them to change like right now. But when you let go, you give them advice and you let go, you know that God's there and he'll deal with it. He'll change their hearts. The best happens. The best happens. So that's what I did, and managed that situation. A little bit of drama happening, and usually it would be like crazy big, and it wasn't that big. It was pretty good, pretty healthy, where they went high and then low, and then they made it up in the same day, which never has happened before, these two, with this situation. So something that you may want to do, and this is something else I want to share with you, is if you're totally triggered by the person that is involved in the conflict, like, oh, don't talk to her, oh, don't talk to her, like you're to the point where you're avoiding a family member that you're supposed to not avoid. You're supposed to be there for them to some extent where you can. Is, again, do your morning routine. Make sure your glass is full, because if your glass isn't full, you're going to be more triggered by that person, emotionally triggered. And write down about them. This is what I did, again, very recently, again, with somebody else, is what triggered you about them? What do you not like about them, to the point where you're sort of feeling somewhat hatred and judgmental towards them? Because another belief is people are not their behaviours. People have behaviours. So why are you judging, or why was I judging them as a whole, as a person? So why do I not like them? So then I listed all these things down. Okay, I didn't like this about her. I didn't like what she did here. I didn't like what she did here. And then just by writing it down, actually just made me let go of the things I was holding on to. Now, writing might not be your thing. Mostly it is. It's a good tool to have, because what it gives you is, you don't need to call somebody else and tell them, oh, she's this and this and this, because that ends up being something else completely. And they might have an opinion, goes, yeah, she is like that. And that might just ignite the opinions that you already have of that person, and that might stop you from serving them where you can serve them. Because I know for sure that I can serve this person that I'm thinking about. To some level, I can help her with advice. Again, it's up to her to follow it. I'm not going to be there to help, you know, to listen to her complain, be at effect and not get into cause in terms of get empowered. If she wants to just complain to me and not get the solution, then I'm not there for her. But if she wants to talk to me, have a little bit of complaint, but then get the solution, then I'm there for her. Because also I do believe God helps people with other people, right? Because that's how the system is. We're humans. We're here to serve each other in different ways. We've got skills that we need to share. It's not just money or whatever. There's other things that we have that other people don't have that we need to share. So list down what triggered you about that person, and because that's stopping you from showing your goodness as well. Because if you're looking at them and oh, here we go again, then there's something in you that needs to be dealt with. And I'm saying this from a personal place as well, because that was me. I was like, oh gosh, why do I need to call her? So I listed everything down. What about her annoying me? And it kind of went just by doing that. But if it doesn't go, you know, speak to someone who can help you through the thoughts, because it may be deeper than that. If it doesn't go by writing, speak to someone who's qualified to help you. Not someone like who knows that other person as well, unless if they're qualified to help you through your thoughts. But it could be something deep in you that you're not healing from. And whatever we hate in other people is like a mirror. It's like it tells us what we hate in ourselves. Because, again, that person still has those behaviours, but I don't need to hate on her or him for that. It's just, it's there. It's there, so I'm observing. Like, okay, because I also do share the same, but I don't choose to have those behaviours now. Or if I do, they're very less time. I'm not saying I'm perfect, right? But what we've got to do is look at people, look at their behaviours, look at what they're doing from a disconnected place. Not like, I hate her because she's shouting, I hate her because she's backbiting, or I hate her because, you know, whatever it is. We look at them like, okay, that's sad, you know, what is it? It's actually, you would feel, not sad, but compassion. Compassion towards them. So you need to get to that place where even the most controversial person in your family, you can still feel some compassion towards, right? Now that's, I'm just generically talking here. I mean, there are times when, which I don't get into because it's not the group for that, when it comes to faith-related situations, you know, you should think differently. But generally, 99% of the times, or 99+% of the times, we can look at someone's behaviours and feel emotionally disconnected and not get triggered by them. We're not saying the good behaviours, but we're just not involved in their energy place. We're not involved in them, right? We're not getting triggered by them. We're not letting them control us. And we will pick up that phone call if we are available, right? Or we won't if we're not available. So, and come from a place of service. So, hope this was useful. So ensure you're neutral when it comes to emotions. And that's it. I have given literally an example that I share with clients, what I do myself, and how to keep yourself in the place of feeling neutral towards people that present with certain behaviours. Now, again, this is a place, this is a group for self-development. I share this for you to follow. Let me know if this has helped. You know, you might want to go and do it now or at some point today. Hope everybody is well. I'll come back and answer, or sort of like say hi to you properly. It's helped me. Again, I've been somebody who has been highly involved in people's situations, disputes, to the point where it wasn't even mine and I got involved, wasted days and days, probably weeks in their stuff, and not to be productive in my own self, health being affected, you know, stress, health, you know, all tiredness, all this stuff used to happen. I've been in that place, and what do I do when you know, in the other side? That's what I do. Make sure you're full in terms of emotionally and follow the steps. This should definitely help you. And I will want to also announce my group coaching program, which will be starting in May. I'll put the date down because I've forgotten the date on top of my head. So it's on my board though. So it will be a 6-week group coaching program on increasing your money mindset. And it'll be 6 weeks with 2 weeks bonus modules. I will be enrolling people in now up until May. So if you are interested, if you do want to increase your money mindset, and you don't have to be in business for this. This is for someone who finds that they struggle to keep money as well, save money, and to work at it. Not just give you some coaching advice, but to literally give you some intense therapy as well. Because we want to get rid of those old beliefs that you have about money or anything that is related to money or material things, because we can, why not? Like, we can keep money as well and make money. So I hope this was useful. Let me know. I will be enrolling and I'll be making several announcements as well. Have a lovely week and I'll catch you later.